guess how do you feel new season, permanent home? How are you sort of feeling going into 2014?
Excited, really excited. We've had a good pre-season. We spoke about being in our home. We spoke about being settled now. We've had some good friendly games here. One last week on our main field, so it's going to be great when we're able to play our first game here. But first thought now is Wellington away. We know that they're a difficult opposition, but we're ready for it. And we've got young boys that have had good experience, good minutes from last season, so they'll be better for that. And our experienced players are fit and ready to go.
I'm not sure if pass mark's the right word, but you have a full lead-in going into this new home. What are your sort of expectation going into this season?
Our expectations always have to be that we want to be in finals. That has to be expectations. And then during the season, things might happen or whatever, and things might change. But we believe that at our best, that we can beat everyone. We really believe that. We've got a good side. We've got good young players coming through. I spoke about the experienced ones. They know, they've been there, done that. And this pre-season has shown me that we're ready to go and we're ready to compete with everyone. Of course, it's a long season, so you don't know how that's going to go. We just want to get off to a good start, but we feel that we can compete.
Change in the dugout, Hayden Fox going to the Socceroos, just on that, him making that step up and the chance it gives some of the existing staff this season.
Yeah, we're excited about that as well. Diogo Ferreira's been here a few years already, coaching with the NPL. Virtually been with us from whenever he's been here, or since he's been here, been with the first team. So he knows exactly the football we want to play, the style we want to play. He knows our principles, our structures. So it's going to be an easy step for him and for Durante as well. Jura's been here for a long period, first as a player, now as a coach. I think that they're ready to take that next step, and so far it's been seamless. The step's been really good, and they understand what we wanted to do.
Just on coaching and Aussie coaches, sort of been a discussion in recent years just about the level of coaching has gone up in the A-League. I'm not sure what your sort of thoughts on that. Looking at yourself, Chiefy, Tele, David really now in Perth Glory. What are your sort of thoughts on the level of coaching?
I wouldn't say the level's gone up. I'm saying that new coaches are coming through still. So I was around when I was coaching against Graham Arnold, against Ange Postecoglou, against Tony Popovic. The level was there, and it's been there for a long period. We've got a number of good coaches. That's exciting. I know that there's other countries that are looking towards or signed coaches from elsewhere. I don't think we need to do that. We've got coaches not only here in the A-League, but overseas and in Asia, that are in Europe, that are doing really well. And that's a credit to everyone that has made that next step, ready for it. And you'll see some good tactical battles this season because we've got some really good coaches and good players within the A-League.
Johnny, you were just touching on the coaches. I guess in terms of you're one of the more experienced coaches in the A-League now, aren't you? From your time back, 12 years ago, was it?
Probably a little bit less than 12. I can't remember the start of it, but it's been a while. Actually, you might be right. It might be 12 years already. Look, I'm one of the more experienced ones. I still feel that. I'm still pretty young though as a coach, and look, I've been through different experiences in the A-League. Some really good ones and some ones that have been a little bit more difficult. But the whole way, I've enjoyed the journey and looking forward to this one as well, because this is a different one for us. We've got a really young squad, and we're prepared well, and looking forward to seeing and blooding some new younger players coming through.
Is this almost a reset for Western United, is it?
I think last year was our reset because we started to bring through those young players already, and we showed, like, when they did come on and have that experience of playing, and the more games they had under their belt, the performances that they put on, and being here will help as well. So, but this is our first time that we're going to have our home games here, so that's going to make a big difference for us.
And what are you expecting from the Phoenix, Johnny? I guess they're always hard to beat over there. They've had a few players leave in the off-season as well. Do you think that they'll be as, I guess just as tough as they were what's the name last season?
Yeah, they will be. They've got some really good players. They signed some 2 Japanese players. They've got a good experience with Costa, with Wooten at the back. But they got a good team, a really good team. So I expect that they're going to be a tough side. They'll do well this season again, you expect. But look, every team have their good players, experienced players, and also a blend with some younger players. So it's going to be a tight league, and every game's going to be tough.
John, are you pleased with the change to the regulation that says that goal difference is now going to be the determining factor to rank teams if they finish on the same points rather than the total amount of wins?
Yeah, I think so. I think that look, it doesn't bother me either way. Whatever they change with the rules, you just have to adapt. But look, goals. We're a team that will want to score a lot of goals and try and score a lot of goals, and also look to concede very few. So that's if you do that well, then normally you're going to get the points and the wins anyway, and then the goal difference will make a difference if you are on equal points.
Johnny, just a word on the Socceroos the other night. What did you make of the effort and very sort of I guess stoic performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, the effort was definitely really good. If we had signed off before the last 2 games that we're going to get 4 points out of the 2 games, then you would have signed that off. And I know we didn't create a lot of chances, but Japan really struggled to create. So that shows that our structures defensively were really good. And they'll be pleased with that result. Definitely pleased. It sets us up nicely for the next game against Saudi Arabia, and hopefully a full house. And it'll be a different performance, of course, because they're playing at home. And but yeah, really good. Really pleased for not only the coaches but the playing group, and also for Australian football, because I think that sets us up nicely to qualify. All good?
One more from me.
Yeah.
Just you spoke about tactical battles this season. Chiefy's mentioned evolution at Wellington in terms of building on last season. Versatility of the players he's brought in, they can play from a 6 to a full-back. Are you expecting anything crazy in terms of the ways they set up in-game as well? But also, can we expect anything different from your team this season in terms of evolution as well?
I think the personnel plays a part, and I know Giancarlo's spoken about that last year he felt he had to defend more and defend deeper, because of the personnel he had. He thought he was best on counter-attacking football. This season with the Japanese players, they'll be good on the ball, as you expect, and they got some good players that can get on the ball in midfield with Rufo, with Retre. So you expect them to be a little bit different. I wouldn't say it's tactically something that we won't have seen before. I think it will be similar to what we've seen, not just with Wellington, but with other sides. And it will be a good test for us. We've played against Victory, we've played against City in the last few friendly games. And in build-up, it's pretty much the same as what I know of Wellington in build-up, what I've seen. Different when they press. I think they press a little bit different, Wellington, what I've seen, what I've heard. It's difficult round 1 to know exactly, because you're going off of a little bit of the research that you can do, trying to get games that they've played. But I don't think it will be anything that surprises us that we go, oh wow, I didn't see that coming.
Johnny, just on Benny Garuccio, just as your new skipper, how do you think that's going to, as a player, will he, I guess, sort of how will that bring more out of him, and sort of what are you expecting from him in that role?
I'm not expecting more as a player. I'm expecting the same Benny Garuccio. I don't want him to try and change his game or anything like that. He leads by example anyway, in terms of his energy and the way that he goes about not only what he does on the field in training, but the way he looks after himself. He's one of my... Well, I think he was my first signing when I arrived at the club. So, I know Benny really well from also my time when I coached him when he was young, 17-year-old. And he's developing into a leader, and a good leader. But we also have, the likes of Tomoki Imai, that's our vice captain, that's good experience. And our leadership group, we've got some really experienced players. with Donachie, with Ibasuki, with Thurgate now. Also Sep Pasquale's had a great pre-season. He's one of those coaches out on the field as well, Seb. So we're happy with our group of leaders, and they'll help Benny, but I expect Benny to be the same dynamic player that he has been.
And how important is the season for Seb?
Really important, but I love Seb's attitude, and it's what we are all about here, is that Seb's had a really tough start to his professional career, being injured for so long and so much. But not once did he ever put his head down. He has always responded well and dealt with difficult situations, circumstances. And the last year was a big step for him because he played quite a few games and virtually trained every session, which was rare for him. Now you see this pre-season, he's played in all the friendly games. He's been in all our training sessions, and so it's a good step for him. And look, we've got Angus in there as well. Thurgate, we've got Reece Bozanowski, who's had a really good pre-season. Had to deal with a little bit of an ankle issue the last few weeks, but he'll be ready to go. And we've got some young boys coming through as well, so we're really happy with that midfield combination.
Just on Garuccio, looking at Bratz showing anything sort of possible 34 making his Socceroos debut. I know you mentioned Benny before the 22 World Cup, maybe he could be on the radar of Arnie when he was in charge. Is he someone that, you look at him and his form and what he's capable of, that he could still work his way into that sort of contention?
Yeah, I think so. I think not only Benny, I think everyone, and I think Popper's shown that in the A-League he's not going to be afraid to select players. I don't think anyone would have thought Velupile was going to get an opportunity, but he selected him, and he obviously scored on his debut. And then you've got Bratzi at 34 that he ended up throwing in. So it's really good for not only our players but everyone in the A-League if they perform. Popper has been here for a long period. He knows the A-League really well. They'll get an opportunity. And I don't think any of our players should be thinking about that. They should be thinking about performing well. They do well for us. We get good results, then they'll be on the radar. All good?